Take us back to October 7th. When did you first realize that something was wrong?
So, as you know, it all started with missiles, and we heard a lot of bombs anywhere. But we do kind of used to it in Israel. Like, we didn't accept it to happen at the time because everything was pretty normal. But we do aware of missiles threats. That was the easy part, so called. Um, it still was terrifying. I was shocked, but. Like the first thing that got me realizing how big is the event is when I was with my friend in the car, and terrorists just came from anywhere, from everywhere, and started blasting, and they shot every direction. Up until that time, I didn't realize how much terrorists is in the area, and I didn't realize that it's. I thought in my head it was two or three, but then I realized it's something much bigger. As it goes on from this part, we just the bigger picture was building in my head. It just from that point on, I realized more and more, and how terrifying the event is, and I
Mm.
saw more and more things that proved it.
So you were obviously at the Nova Music Festival on October 7th. Um, were you and I thank you for coming on and sharing this very difficult story, but as you told me earlier, it's important for people to hear it. Um, what did you see happening to other people at the festival when it was clear that this was an invasion?
When they started shooting at me and my friend, I quickly got off the car and started running, and I saw an ambulance passing by. I jumped on it, and I saw people injured from the shootings, which got me realize even more what's going on, because up until that point I wasn't aware of what's going on. After that, I got off the ambulance and I hopped on another van that was passing by because the ambulance was shot and he stopped. That was the ambulance that got shot by RPG, like not too much after I got off it. And after I got off, I hopped on a van, and from the van, I saw people that running from the terrorists, and they were jumping, and they were jumping with their hands on their heads, and trying to do everything to survive. When I got off the van, after another group of terrorists came and shot at the van, me and another friend of mine that wasn't the same one that was with me in the car, but he joined me when he saw me running to the ambulance. This friend of mine and I jumped off the van when while they were shooting at it, and then we had to cross a huge open field. I was sure I'm going to die. Like, I even gave up at some point, but I kept running. And looking back, we saw the most terrifying thing that I'm still dealing with. We saw
Mm.
just people. The terrorists shot people behind us, and we had to keep running.
Wow, my friend, I'm so sorry. I obviously words do not suffice to explain how sorry that we all are who are watching this. So you eventually were able to get in contact with your dad, correct? So tell me what that conversation was like.
So actually, from the first minute, like from the first missile until the last shot, my dad was with me on the phone. We had a few disconnections here and there because the whole situation. But there was a moment when the terrorist was shooting at us, and I had to hang up. After I got out of the situation where they're shooting at me and I'm hearing bullets in my ears. I called him back, and I realized he was crying, and that's the minute I realized he must have thought I was dead, and that was another, like, something I'll never forget.
I don't think a lot of people in the West who've never been to the Middle East understand what Hamas is. And obviously, you've seen them unbelievably tragically up close and personal. Um, so to to us in the West, what is Hamas? What are they like when you see them up close and personal?
I can't even find words to describe them. Like they're worse than monsters for me. It's not like dealing with an army or with another even organization. They're just wants to destroy us in all cost, and they don't care about the consequences. They came at us as civilians that came to party. We didn't accept it, and they just everything they did, from babies to parents to elders, and they just slaughtered everyone without mercy. And I can't find the words to describe what we're dealing with. It's not something that is even makes sense to deal with.
Okay, this is very very intense. I know it's hard for you to recall this. I know you've had a hard time sleeping. Have you been able to find a way to sleep at night? I know obviously it's been 15 months, but have you been able to, as much as you possibly can, process this evil that you saw and have some closure?
It's still going on. At first, it was like nightmares directly on the event, and now the nightmares are more like nightmares when I'm running and I don't know what I'm running for, and things like that. I'm still dealing with it. I'm still waking up like shocked at the middle of the night without knowing why. I think until the point where the war is going to end and all the hostages is back and everything will come back to, I don't know if to call it normal, but you know, to the what we were used to before all that situation. I think I will have a problem dealing with it and process the whole thing.
Well, again, toda raba, Achi, for coming on. Let me ask you this one last question in closing. You have a large Western, predominantly audience, in the United States, Canada, Europe, but again, around the world, folks watch this channel. What would your message be to anyone who is watching this video right now?
Everyone needs to understand the situation of Israel, and that we have to do everything in our power to, deal with the whole situation. And I hope that everything will end soon, and we have to do everything to get our hostages back. That's it. What more can I say?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, toda raba, Achi. As I speak for myself as a Gentile, you are not alone. This might be a little editorial, but whatever. I want you to know that the Jewish people and the Jewish state have a lot of friends, and that you're not alone, and that we support you in any form of small to egregious forms of anti-Semitism. I personally, and I know a lot of people watching this, stand against. So I just want to know that you're not alone. Thank you again for sharing your story, and it's been a pleasure and an honor, my friend.
Thank you.